So we'll start with the prayer of the text as usual. Vasudevendra Yogindram Natva Jnanapradam Gurum Mumukshunam Hitarthaya Tattva Bodho Vidhiyate. So far we'll just recap whatever we have seen. So the text started with the qualifications that are required for acquiring self-knowledge, knowing the self. The four qualifications were Viveka, Vairagya, the six qualities starting with Samadama and Mumukshutvam. So these were the four qualities, four qualifications that are needed for understanding the self-knowledge. After that, the text started with the first statement, what is Atma, or Atma is Satyam and everything else is Mithya. So that was the first statement made by the text. And then further explanation of what is Atma. So the definition of Atma describes what Atma is not first, which is called as Anatma, and then finally the definition of Atma, it is Satchidananda Swarupa. Then we understood there are three groups of Anatmas, the three bodies, the Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira and Karana Sharira, which we have already gone through. The next was the three states, the waking state, the dream state and the deep sleep state. So we had just understood what is a waking state, where all our organs and all our in your physical body is also available for interaction with the outside world. Then in dream state, the physical body is not available, but the mind is available. So dreams are nothing but the experiences of various experiences we have gone through in our life. It could also be from our past lives also. Those impressions come in the form of dreams. So dreams may be connected, sometimes we have totally disconnected dreams, but in the dream state, the mind is active. Now let us today understand what is the deep sleep state. Again, there was a specific name for each of these states when it is connected with respect to the Atma. So the first, the Sthula Sharira, when it is identified with the Atma, it is called as Vishwa. The Sukshma Sharira with the Atma, it is called as Tejasa. Now, coming to the deep sleep state, which is connected to the Karana Sharira. In deep sleep state, neither our physical body nor the mind is active. So as we say, deep sleep means we are in the Karana Sharira actually, and Karana Sharira is the seed form. So it is what happens when there is pralayam. Everything gets into the Karana Sharira, and Karana Sharira cannot be known. So in deep sleep state, we don't have any experience. Only when we get up, we say, okay, I had a good sleep. But we were not aware of anything. We were completely ignorant. But knowing that we were ignorant is also knowledge. So that is what happens in deep sleep state. You are not aware of anything. You are in a state where the time, space, you can't, nothing, you can't claim you. Because In that state, there is nothing. So that state, you can only remember when you get up, you say, oh, I had a very good sleep. But you don't really experience, at the time of sleeping, you don't experience that sleep. But when you get up, you say, okay, I had a good sleep. So that is what is the deep sleep state. Suptavastha, as it is called. So these are the three states what we have seen so far: the Jagrat Avastha, the dream state, and the Suptavastha. So the three states we have seen. And
Can you repeat that third one, Supta?
Supta Avastha. Supta means Avastha. Avastha means the state. So it is called Suptavastha. So Suptavastha, when you say, I don't know anything, I slept happily, or I enjoyed my sleep. So this is the experience of nothing. So you can't say I had an experience, at the same time you say I had good sleep. So you are aware that you are not aware of anything. So that itself is a knowledge, you know that you did not have any experience. And further it says, Karana Sharirabi Manyatma Pragya Ichyuchyate. So when the Atma identifies with the Karana Sharira, it is known as Prajna. So the physical body identifying with the Atma, it's called as Vishwa. The Sukshma Sharira identifying with the Atma is called as Taijasa. And the Karana Sharira identifying with the Atma is called as Prajna. So these are all technical terms which the text says. We really don't have to, understand the meaning of this. It just the connection between the Atma and that particular state has been given a particular name. So it is just for our information. But we can always use this sometime later when we start understanding more about ourselves. When we say Vishwa, okay, when you identify the physical body with the Atma, it is Vishwa. When you identify the Sukshma Sharira with the Atma, it is called as Taijasa. And when we identify the Karana Sharira with the Atma, it is called as Prajna. So this is the third state, or Suptavastha. So now we have covered the three bodies and the three states of experience. Now what is left is the Panca Koshas. So next question is, Panca Kosha Kaha? What is Panca Kosha? Or what are the 5 sheaths? Kosha basically means a sheath. So there are 5 sheaths which are identified. Now it is not there is a physical sheath. The sheath actually is a subdivision of the 3 bodies that we have already seen: the Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and Karana Sharira. For a better understanding from a different point of view, the author or the text presents these 3 bodies in 5 sheaths. So now we will understand. So the 5 sheaths are Annamaya Kosha, Prana. So what are the 5 sheaths? Annamaya, Pranamayo, Manomiyo, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, Che iti. So the 5 sheaths are Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, and Anandamaya Kosha. Now then again we will understand each of this. what is Annamaya Kosha? Annamaya Kaha. What is Annamaya Kosha? So the answer is Annarase Naiva Bhutvanara Se Naiva Vriddhim Prapyanan Rupa Prithivyam Yadviliyate Tadannamaya Kosha Sthula Shariram. So what it basically means is that which is born from the essence of food, grows by the essence of food, resolves into the earth, which is in the form of food, is the Annamaya Kosha, or it is also same as Sthula Sharira. So basically it is the same, there is no difference between Annamaya Kosha and Sthula Sharira. They are one and the same, but from another point of view, how the Annam or the Sthula Sharira functions is what is given as Annamaya Kosha. Now Annam basically means food. So this physical body is made up of the essence of food. For example, it is the food that gets converted into the next this thing. So in a man, the food converts, the essence of the food gets converted into the seed, and in a woman it gets converted into an egg. So when these two come together, the fetus is born. So the fetus is born out of the essence of the food of the parents. Now the fetus starts growing. It is again dependent on the food from the mother. So the fetus is nourished by the food eaten by the mother. The essence of the food is taken by the... Now when the child is born, again the child needs food to sustain itself. The child grows, it again depends on the food. So everything related to the physical body is connected to the food. And when the physical body dies, again it gets back to the 5 elements. And these 5 elements, again the body goes into the earth, and again it becomes the basis for food to grow, because everything grows from soil. So even carnivorous animal also depends on the food from the earth. So it is not just food in terms of just the food that grows in this thing. So carnivorous animals also are sustained by this food. So the process is the food sustains everything. So that is why it is called as Annamaya Kosha, because it is completely dependent on food. So this is something which we all know, but it gives a little more emphasis, reminds us that this physical body is made up of essence of food. Now the next kosha is Pranamaya Kosha. So let us understand what is Pranamaya Kosha. Pranamaya Kaha. What is the Pranamaya Kosha? Pranadya Panca Vayavo Vagdindriya Panchakam Pranamaya Kosha. So the modification of the vital layer of prana, etc., and the 5 organs of action, such as the organ of speech, etc. So basically Pranamaya Kosha is nothing but we came to understand the elements which make up of the Sukshma Sharira. We had 17 elements, the 5 pranas, the 5 karma indriyas, the 5 organs of understanding, and the mind and the intellect. So here Pranamaya Kosha is nothing but the 5 pranas and the 5 organs of action put together is Pranamaya Kosha. Now the Pranamaya Kosha, the role of the Pranamaya Kosha is, it is Kriya oriented. It is Kriya Shakti, action oriented. So the 5 pranas that sustain the body, when the prana gets depleted, the body wants food. So the Manomaya, the Pranamaya Kosha requires food to be sent to the physical body. Now, if we understand the next kosha, which is called as the Manomaya Kosha. Manomaya Kaha. What is the sheath? Called modification of the mind. Manascha Jnanendriya Panchakam Militva Yo Bhavati Sa Manomaya Kosha. The Manomaya Kosha is nothing but the mind together with the organs of perception. The 5 organs of perception: touch, taste, smell, sound and sight. So these are the 5 organs of perception along with the mind is together called as the Manomaya Kosha. Now the role of the Manomaya Kosha is Ichha Shakti. It creates the urge for the organs of action to perform. So when it creates a need for food, the organs of action will ensure that the food is taken. So basically the Manomaya Kosha is to create that urge, the desire, because the 5 organs of perception, they are the one who bring in the input to the mind. So desire is based on the input that is given by the 5 organs of perception. So when you see something, there is a desire created and you need, then the next is how to get that. When you hear something, you hear some good music, there is a desire to listen to some music. You get a radio or a whatever means of music system to listen to music. When you smell something good, you feel like getting that. So the Ichha Shakti is given by the Manomaya Kosha, which is converted into action by the Pranamaya Kosha. So this is basically the role of the Manomaya Kosha. Now what is the Vijnanamaya Kosha? Vijnanamaya Kaha. Buddhir Jnanendriya Panchakam Militva Yo Bhavati Sa Vijnanamaya Kosha. The intellect together with the organs of perception is called Vijnanamaya Kosha. So again, the organs of perception are common to Vijnanamaya Kosha also. The intellect is Nishchayatmika, it is sure. The mind is fluctuating. Mind, the organs of perception bring in the information. The mind doesn't know how to process. The desire is created based on what is there in the intellect. See, if you are not aware of something, you cannot have a desire for that. So what you are aware is there in your intellect. So when the organs of perception bring some information to the mind is not ready, or it cannot decide whether you should get this or not, because it doesn't know what it is. So basically the intellect, the information is available. So once you see, okay, this is what it is, then you create. That is how probably these advertisements and all work, because they create an urge in you repeatedly by showing things. It gets into your mind, into your intellect. So moment you see that, you recognize, and you see a good car, or you see a music system, or you see a TV, it's already there. By repeatedly flashing this in our mind, it gets stored in the intellect, and then it creates that desire to procure that. So the intellect is the one which takes the decision. The mind is the one which brings the information, but all the information that we get through the mind need not be converted into a desire. Because desire is not that everything you see, hear, taste, or something which will create a desire in you to have that particular thing. Even if there is a desire, sometimes it may not be practical. Suppose you have a desire to get a car. You see a Benz or a Lamborghini, and you find out it costs a couple of crores, and you don't have that kind of money. So that desire is meaningless. So all desires that are created need not be fulfilled. So that is how the desire, which is already of the object, a desire presupposes knowledge of that, because you cannot desire something which you don't know about. So that is what the Manomaya Kosha is. It is the knowledge which you have already gained through the organs of perception, which in turn create a desire in the Manomaya Kosha. So in the Manomaya Kosha, you have Jnana Shakti. So the first Kosha, the Pranamaya Kosha is Kriya Shakti. The Manomaya Kosha is Ichha Shakti, and the Vijnanamaya Kosha is Jnana Shakti. So the three different roles, you can say. So this is what is Vijnanamaya Kosha. So now we go on to the fifth Kosha, which is the Anandamaya Kosha. So Anandamaya Kaha. What is Anandamaya Kosha? Evameva Karana Sharira Bhutadi Vidyastha Malina Sattvam Priyadi Vritti Sahitam Sat Anandamaya Kosha. So what it says is, Anandamaya Kosha is that sheath that is abiding in ignorance in the form of the causal body, because we are ignorant of everything when we are in the causal body, of impure sattva, together with the modifications like pleasure, etc. So basically there are two things. One is the ignorance and one is the pleasure. So in Anandamaya Kosha, that is again it is Karana Sharira basically. So there is no difference between Anandamaya Kosha and Karana Sharira. It is one and the same. Here it says Anandamaya Kosha is where again, like when you go to sleep, you are ignorant of everything. So that is one aspect. The other aspect, you are completely at peace with yourself. In Anandamaya Kosha or in the Karana Sharira, you experience a form of happiness, because there are no worries, there is nothing else which is disturbing you. You don't even know where you are. We might have seen, sometimes we see these trucks carrying loads of, stones and sand and all that in the hot day. And you will see some of these people happily sleeping on the top of the stones. So they must be in a different world, because for us to even imagine that we can sleep in that particular state is very unimaginable. But for them, they just get into that this thing, and irrespective, so they don't even probably know that they are lying on a bed of stones, sun is beating. They just go to sleep and enjoy that state. So that happiness or this thing. So there are two things. One is ignorance, because you don't know anything. And the other thing is you experience happiness, joy when you are in deep sleep state, or when you are in the Karana Sharira. Now, this degree of happiness also varies. It is not that there is only one state of happiness. In fact, they have specified 3 different stages of happiness, or 3 different, you can say, depths of happiness. So it is called as Priya, Moda and Pramoda. These are the 3 different depths of happiness. So basically there are these stages of happiness. Like the first stage, you can say Priya means you see something, you feel happy. Suppose you're going and you see the car showroom. Again, let us just say you see a nice car inside. You feel happy. Wow, looks good. I feel good to see the car. So that is one. The next is, now you get the car. You buy the car. When you possess the car, there is a different again state of happiness. Oh, I saw the car, I was so happy. Now I am the owner of it. I am even more happy. The third depth is when you drive the car. So when you actually use the car, when the car runs on the road, you feel the car moving at a speed. The kind of happiness that you get is again even better. So Priya, Moda, Pramoda. These are the 3 different depths of happiness. So that is what you get in the Karana Sharira during sleep state. So these are the, so Karana Sharira, or like it says Anandamaya Kosha. So Anandamaya Kosha is something which you experience that happiness, and that happiness, again, the depth of happiness varies. So you can probably experience all these depths during sleep, but when you wake up, you may not remember. You can only remember you are happy during sleep, but you cannot remember at that time. When you are sleeping, you cannot say I was sleeping and I am happy. So that is what is the 5th kosha, which is Anandamaya kosha. So Etat kosha panchagam. These are the 5 sheets. Now further he says, Madiyam shariram, Madiya prana, Madiyam manascha, Madiya buddhir, Madiya ma jnanamiti, Sve naiva jayate, Tadya tatha Madiyatvena jatam, Kataka kundala grihadikam, Swabhinnam tatha panchakoshadikam madiyatvena gyatamatma na bhavati. A little long explanation based on these 5 koshas. So he is further elaborating. The direct meaning is given of this particular verse is, just as a bangle, earring, house, etc., known as mine, are different from myself, so too that which is composed of the 5 sheets, different from oneself, known by oneself as mine, my body, my function, my mind, my intellect, and my ignorance, all these are not Atma. They are not me. For example, so let us first start with the body. So when you say my body is not okay today. I have a pain in my body. My leg is paining. My knees are aching. So when you say my body, you don't you are not the body, because when you say my pen, my phone, my book, you are not the book. So me is different from mine. So that is the first level of understanding, that the physical body that you see is not the Atma, because you are able to see the different experiences of the body. You cannot be the body and experience itself. So that is the first this thing when it comes to the first sheet. Now pranamaya, you can say my breathing is not okay, or my movements are restricted, or I am not feeling I am feeling a bit heavy, my organs of action, so to say, I am not able to move, I am feeling a little lethargic. So all this means, again, the pranamaya, when you identify, it is not the Atma, because when you say these things you can observe, that means it is not you. Again, the third kosha, which is the manomaya kosha, again you say my mind is not okay today, I am feeling a little dejected, or I am feeling happy today, my mind is happy. So when you say that, again when you say my mind, it is not you. So you are again different from the mind. Same thing with intellect also. When you say I am not aware of this, or my intellect is now a little disturbed. So we use all this my intellect. So again you are different from the intellect, because you are able to observe what is happening in the intellect, you are able to observe the body. So you are the observer of all these things. So you cannot be the observer and be the same thing. So we have to understand that what is mine cannot be me. So that is the first thing we need to understand. So whatever we possess cannot be me. My pen cannot be me, my phone cannot be me, my car cannot be me, my house cannot be me. So I am different from all this. So my body cannot be me, my mind cannot be me, my intellect cannot be me. So I am different from all this. Same thing when it comes to the Anandamaya Kosha also. You can see I was ignorant, I had a good sleep, I was not aware of anything. So I was ignorant. So again when you say I was ignorant, that means you are not that ignorance. You are saying you are not aware, but you cannot be that. So that is what it says. Atma is none of these 5, because you are different from all the 5 sheets. You are different from the 3 bodies. because again the 5 sheets are from the 3 bodies. And the 3 states, you are the witness to the 3 states. You witness what is happening when you are awake. You are a witness to the dream state, and in deep sleep state also you are witness, because when you get up you say, I had a good sleep. So you had witnessed that sleep. I had a good sleep means there was somebody witnessing that. If you are not, if you are that itself, you cannot observe that. So somebody is observing and saying, and that is you. So the whole process of identifying all that is anatma is to prove that you are not atma. So none of these things that, and these are the 5 or you can say these are the levels of confusion that we have. We tend to believe we are all this, and that is why we have all the problems. I am not, my body is not okay, means you think you are the body and you are not okay. I am not okay means your body is not okay, you say I am not okay. So we tend to identify with the body, the mind, we think that is us, and then we feel miserable, we feel good, whatever related to that. But the Atma is none of these, and you are that Atma. So that is what the text is trying to say, the author is trying to first remove all the things which are not you, make you understand that you are not all that. What you think, normally we think we are. Because once you remove everything, then you will realize that you are the only thing which is constant. So that is Atma. And the next question will be again, what is Atma? And the real nature of Atma will be discussed in the next segment. So that we will see in the next class.